Hey now, Inside BS listeners, it's Dave Lorenzo with an exclusive invitation for you. I want you to go to this website, getinsidebs.com. You'll get our daily email newsletter. We'll give you updates on the last 3 episodes of the show, and we'll send you an exclusive invitation to attend our monthly event where we bring you ways to improve the value of your business and increase your freedom. Join us today, getinsidebs.com. I hope to see you there. Hey there, insiders. It's Dave Lorenzo, and this is the Inside BS Show. Today, I'm going to share with you a snippet from an interview I did with a gentleman named Angel Ribo. He's the CEO confidant, and he coaches up CEOs of Fortune 1000 companies. I specifically ask him in this clip how he gets meetings with these people and what he says in order to get them to give him half an hour so that he can convince them that he has something of value to provide them. His answers are interesting, and for many of you, they're going to be unsurprising. It's great reinforcement for the work that you are putting in every day. All right, sit back and relax and enjoy the interview with Angel Ribo, the CEO confidant. What's the secret to getting an appointment with a CEO? What did you discover through all those calls? What's the secret? What are the 1 or 2 things that people need to know to get the CEO either on the phone or to get in front of the CEO?
Number one, there's always going to be a gatekeeper, right? So the number one, I mean, maybe the shortcut would be call on a Friday afternoon, and maybe, you could get the direct line, or the CEO is going to take the call, which has happened to me many times. But number one, there's going to be a gatekeeper. So always try to be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else. Be yourself. Be human. Be just who you are. Don't pretend to be anybody else. The only thing that you have to show is that you are yourself, and you genuinely want to talk to someone. In this case, probably, the boss or the peer of that person that you're talking to, and tell them, that's why I would like to do it. Something that has actually helped me a lot is always to relate that first conversation with gatekeeper, and that's kind of advice number 2, is to relate that conversation to something that's happening in that very moment. So obviously, I Google that person, I Google that company, I know what's going on, I know what's the last thing that happened in that company, and then I relate my conversation with that gatekeeper to that conversation. I know that this just has happened now, that this is why I'm reaching out to this CEO, right? And it's happening this right now. And I think that, we can have, or we might eventually be able to help you with this specific goal, or this specific issue that you have, or this specific acquisition that you just did. To be honest, we always try to pretend so much. It's like when we are writing an email, right? We overthink it like 10 times, or we use someone else's recipe, that template, that swipe file. It's going to be, it's the magic bullet, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Really, honestly. So the best thing I would do if I were you, anybody listening to us, just do it a lot. Do it as many times as you can. And just, don't put yourself in a place in which you are measuring how many, oh my God, how many calls do I have to make? No. Do not measure the success. Measure the failure. Measure how many, calls were you actually hung up onto. Measure the failure, so you make it a goal, to lower the number of calls that you were rejected. I think that's a good way to do it, mentally speaking, because it takes a stamina.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, talk about now your business is, you talk to a lot of CEOs, and when you talk to CEOs, how many times have they worked with someone who that was referred to them, or someone who was connected to them? Because there's a very high trust barrier, right? So in your business, how do you get most of your clients? I would imagine people pass you from one place to another because, Angel Ribo, he really helped me a lot. You got to call Angel. How easy is it once you have success with one CEO to get them to refer you to somebody else? That's my question.
Well, it's as easy as, a CEO, trusts someone who is a trusted advisor of that person, right? So that's the easy answer. Everybody does their own due diligence, because we are talking about something. bottom line, Dave, we are all human beings. We all go through different kinds of, we all have our limiting beliefs. We all have, those things that we would like to fix. Regardless of where you are, regardless of the company that you run, it doesn't matter. We are still human beings and we still face, challenges in our lives. And as far as we are open enough, and talking about the CEOs, open enough to get a piece of advice from an external, source and an additional, let's say, an external set of eyes to look into our lives, that's going to work out. So is it difficult to get to a CEO? It is. Is it easier to get to these people when you get a referral? Obviously it is, but they still are going to do their own due diligence and they still are going to test you and they still are going to look for references. And that's good because, again, it's like when you market something or you market a show, right? It's not for everybody.
Right.
It's not for everybody. You really want to attract the people that you can really help.
Sure.
And I really mean it. I really, for instance, I like to talk a lot about, self-awareness, about mindset, about this, even about the spirituality and why, we are, spiritual beings having a physical experience, right? And not everybody resonates with that. And that's okay, and I still have clients who are believers and have different, faiths and denominations. And that's all right. But you know what? We always find the common ground. We find the common ground. I really think that regardless of your position, you always want to do good in this world. There's no CEO out there that, regardless of their position or their position of power, wants to really do bad to anybody.
Sure.
Nor employees, nor shareholders. So we really have much more common ground among us than what we might think. But you see, your question is it's so useful for everybody listening to us because there's this mental trap, right? There's this cognitive trap that, there's so much up there that it's impossible. It's so difficult to reach out to them. And just let me give you an example. 2 hours ago, I was sitting having lunch with a senior VP of a $500 million corporation. Okay, so he's in part of the leadership team. And oh my God, if you were there on our table, just to give you an example, he's the most amazing guy. You would like to, go with him. We would go to church with him. You would go for a beer with him. Again, it's all, we're all human beings. And actually, I would even think, Dave, to be very honest, I think that right now, for the last 12 months, we've lost so much connection. I'm going to repeat that. We've lost connection in such a broad way among us.
Yeah. That
having this connection back, and CEOs are not an exception, is huge. I was having this call face to face. I was having lunch with him, with this SVP. It was like, wow. It was a great conversation. Like, it was the first time, but it was a great conversation. We really, get on well. And we spoke about families and everything. People really want to reconnect.
Yeah.
And I think that's another piece of advice. Right now, when you're having conversations and you're trying to, get convince gatekeepers, when you're trying to reach out C-level executives, just talk about reconnecting.
Yeah.
Talk about reconnecting. Talk about, having a look at their businesses and their lives from a different set of eyes. Things have changed. The market has changed. There's a lot of things that have changed. Be you the one that's going to give an additional, external opinion about what's going on there.
Hey now, Inside BS listeners, it's Dave Lorenzo with an exclusive invitation for you. I want you to go to this website, getinsidebs.com. You'll get our daily email newsletter. We'll give you updates on the last 3 episodes of the show, and we'll send you an exclusive invitation to attend our monthly event where we bring you ways to improve the value of your business and increase your freedom. Join us today, getinsidebs.com. I hope to see you there.